Hello, true believers. It's only, and I've got a really busy day today. Heroes, the kids got projects that I need to be working on with them. It's some of it's kind of time consuming and tedious and vague at the same time. So I have to figure out like what the heck is it that the hardest part is trying to figure out what the teachers are what they want us to produce, and sometimes they're very vague about it, so you're kind of a lot of it is you're kind of left on your own. So I got to spend the whole day to be working on that. Then on top of that, we got to exercise, and on top of that, we got termite inspection going tomorrow, so I got to get the place ready because I got to go inside and look at all the different wood, see if there's any termite uh, like termite invasion or termites getting in. So it's a busy day, but I wanted to get this video out, these police videos, and personally, I don't enjoy doing these police videos. I because it's not a happy subject to talk about, but just because it's not a happy subject or it's not a subject that I like, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't talk about it. I mean, it's uncomfortable. It's a reality that people don't want to watch. I understand people come to YouTube, they want to be entertained and they want to feel happy, but at the same time, I know people come to YouTube to be informed also, and it's best that they be informed with the reality and the truth of what it's like here in the Philippines. And everybody else wants to blow smoke up your ass about how wonderful it is over here, because they want to promote the Philippines, and they want to promote their channel, and people are going to be happier, or there more people are gonna you're gonna have more views if you're gonna have just happy, positive things about the Philippines. Well, it's for me, of course, I like to do both. What's positive, but recent events, I've become sour, or I've become negative. I mean, naturally, after what I've experienced or what I went through, I mean, you don't go through hell and back and just be all happy go lucky all the time. You have to, things happen for a reason, and we have to figure out what those reasons are. And part of it is sharing the experience and sharing the truth, and then sharing other people's reality and experiences also. I know a lot of people are going to be turned off by it, but this channel is not about appeasing people or making them happy. It's about, I'm doing this because, well, what would I like to hear? Would I like to hear the truth, or would I would like to hear some fantasy, what people are saying? I'm not interested in other people's fantasies. I'm probably interested in just my own fantasy, but at any rate, let's get to the video over here. Now, recently, I think was it Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday? Let's just say Tuesday, that the mayor of Samar was ambushed or gunned down on his way to his son's birthday party. As you could see from the pictures over here, he was in his white van. And I'll kind of summarize what happened. He was with his driver and his bodyguard, and they were ambushed, get this, by the Philippine National Police. The and we already know the Philippine National Police is almost on the news every day because of the Quezon City misencounter versus the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, and before that, they were one of the Philippine National Police killed a mother and child and her son in cold blood. So over here we have an incident over here where now it's the mayor, a sitting mayor, actually a person in power that was gunned down. So let's get to the like one of the video clips. Here's the local news. And let's just kind of play, and I'll translate. Most of it is in English. I tried to pick a video that's most of it in English, so I don't have to translate. I can just kind of react to it.
Samar 1st District Representative Edgar Sarmiento questions the police report on the alleged shootout between PNP personnel and the group of Calbayog Mayor Ronaldo Aquino, based.
So here we go. So what do we got? We got a shootout between two parties over here. The Philippine National Police again versus the mayor, his driver, and he had like from what I remember, a bodyguard that's actually a police bodyguard. So let's get to the rest of the video. So I just wanted to be clear. Here we go. We have a shootout again between the Philippine National Police and a mayor and his driver and his police bodyguard.
On the initial police report, Mayor Aquino's group fired first at vehicles following them, prompting the police to fire back.
So let's rephrase. Let's summarize again. So the police report. So the police that fired and that had the shootout between them. Now the same police are saying, "Oh, here's our report. It was they that first fired at us." So now, of course, since they're firing at us, we're forced to fire back. So we have no choice. It's like they started firing at us. And they didn't, of course, they didn't get into the reason why they were firing at them, as other than the fact that they were following his van. Or
Police claim they did not know Mayor Aquino was on board the vehicle and that he was not the target of their operations.
now that right there is a complete, utter, blatant lie. The police did not know that the person that they were following or the target of their operation is the mayor. Okay. Now, Samar is a very small island. Samar, I keep saying Samar. Samar is a very small island. So you can't move around there without people knowing exactly who you are. If you watch the video, even people who just regular people would just that went to the scene knew exactly, oh, that's the mayor, that's the mayor just got killed, the mayor, right away. So there's no way. This is the police, and they're saying, oh, we had no idea that the mayor with the car that we were following and the target that were the operation was the mayor. Duh. And this is now I have firsthand experience in this because I went through this where I was a target of the police, okay? And they said the same thing also. If I have court documents when they were being cross-examined, it's like, why didn't you arrest them right away once he was in my same situation? Why didn't you arrest them right away? Once he met with the girls, why didn't you arrest them? You know what they said? Well, we didn't know who he was. And then my attorney says, well, you have a warrant to raid his house, and you raided his house after this incident. Yeah, we didn't know it was the same person. We didn't know that the girls that they were the person that the girls were meeting was the same person that we were gonna raid, that we had a search warrant already for a week that we've been investigating. No. We didn't know it was that was the same person. And this was on record in front of the judge, and they're just saying, no, we didn't know it was the same person. Yes, we knew that we had the arrest. We had a search warrant. We had it in hand, and it's by coincidence that it just happened to be the same person that the girls were meeting that same night. Happened to be the same person that we have this search warrant for. That we were going to raid their house. And they raided my house after the so. It was they plan, so it was like all coincidences, like, okay, we got the search warrant already, but what we're going to do is we're going to do this entrapment operation first. So instead of serving the search warrant, they already had it. But we were like, okay, you know what, let's do this entrapment first. We don't know who that person is, but let's do it right after the entrapment, and then let's serve the search warrant. And wow, what a coincidence, it's the same person that we did the entrapment with. Who knew? And the judge, obviously, everybody saw through it. It's a complete lie. But you see here, this is, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, yes, it's a lie, but we're going to say it anyway. No one's going to believe it, but here we go. The police are saying it also. They're like, oh, we didn't know it was the mayor that we were following. Oh, we didn't know it was the mayor. So all of a sudden, we were just innocent. We got on our masks, we got on our assault rifles, we got on all our equipment, we got all our gear, we've got all our cars, and we're ready to rock and roll. And all of a sudden, the mayor's van that we didn't know was the mayor just started shooting at us for no reason. So we had to shoot back. So that's their story, of course. It's a complete lie, and the police are lying, but let's get to the rest of the video.
Sarmiento has filed a resolution asking the House of Representatives to investigate the incident.
I don't know what's the term, but for me that is ambush kasi biglaan kang binaril, no?
So this representative is saying that it's not this is not a shootout or a encounter. This was outright an ambush, and I completely agree with him.
Ang shootout siguro, nag-enkwentro kayo, tapos sa time, nagbarilan pa kayo. Hindi po ganun eh. Basta pinatay, napaganda ng planning po nila. No?
He's saying that the ambush to murder the mayor was planned, and this wasn't like a misencounter or a shootout where they just kind of ran into each other and they just started shooting each other. I mean, there's a reason, and there, of course, there's a reason why the mayor has a bodyguard. Also, I mean,
doon mismo sa tulay na ginagawa, talagang plinalo ng gusto. The mayor's family believes the shooting was politically motivated. Mark
they're saying it's absolutely it's politically motivated. I mean, politics over here, of course, it's money. People who are in control have because of the corruption, they have access to money. You can't do anything, you can't move any, you can't do anything, you can't do any business over there unless the right wheels are greased, of course. So it comes down to money. Whoever controls the politics over there controls the money and the revenue. Aquino, the mayor's son, was celebrating his birthday and his father on his way to his party. So the mayor was on his way to his son's birthday party. Now this is, and what's going to be funny is they're gonna interview the son. So the day his son was born is also the same day his father died. So it's kind of the irony over here. And the son during it was interviewed was mentioned something about all that also is the irony, the celebration of the birthday and the death of their father also. When the supposed shootout happened,
gustong gawin kay Papa is magre-raid and then lalagyan ng shabu or kung anong bagay na
So the son of the mayor is saying the police's plan was the police were saying that they were on a drug operation, and the plan was, I guess, that was the plan, was that the police would. I'm sure here was the son is. This is what the son is saying, that the plan of the police was to shoot the since the police, their version is going to be, it's going to be a drug operation, and what they were going to do is shoot the mayor and the people he was with, and then plant drugs on him and say that, and they started shooting first, because they were in a drug operation. Plant the drugs on, shoot them first, plant the drugs on them, and say, oh, they fought. This was a drug operation. Look at this mayor was dirty with drug money. I mean, caught with drugs, and they fought back. So we had to shoot them, and then there's no witnesses for them to say otherwise, that they didn't have any drugs or they were being planted. And it's not above the police, and I have the first-hand experience also to be planted with evidence, damning evidence against them. I have personal experience of this, and if you don't know, you should. I'm sure there's several people that know exactly what happened to me and how they tried, but the problem was they couldn't plant drugs on me, and they couldn't, because that was the nature of my arrest, and they couldn't really say that I fought back, that they should just shot me because I fought back. There's several reasons why they just couldn't kill me right away. One of the reasons why, because I'm nonviolent. If anybody says that like I fought back or I shot back, or they could probably gone with the angle that I tried to go for their gun. There were several times where I thought that that's what they were going to do to me also. But there was other reasons why they kept me alive at the same time. But we'll get into that in another live stream or another discussion. But the important thing is I survived and I lived to tell the tale another day. I mean, yes, I did suffer. Yes, I did. My family did suffer, and we'll get into the reasons of why. But this is parallel to what went on with me and what's going on with the police over here and with the mayor. So let's continue with the video.
Para ma-justify din yung operation nila na legitimate.
So the son was saying, just to justify their operation, that it's legitimate, that it's legal, that they were going to say that was the plan. Where did it? Sometimes the best laid plans of mice and men just go all the crap once the shooting starts. Once shooting starts and people start shooting back, just like when Bruce Lee said in what is it, Enter the Dragon, where a guy was demonstrating how good he was in karate or in kung fu by breaking a board, and then Bruce Lee says, "Boards don't hit back. Boards don't hit back." With his, I don't know what accent he was trying to do at that time, but that's my version of Bruce Lee saying boards don't hit back. It's saying a board, if you kick a board, he's not impressed because they don't hit back. Well, same thing with this situation. The plan was they got all their assault rifles, they got all their guns, they got all their people just surrounding this person, the man on a bridge, so there's no escape. And they just start. So the plan was they start shooting. They kill the people, plant the drugs on them. Problem solved. Case solved. Problem was the people started shooting back. So and then then it all kind of went to hell, and the planting the drugs part wasn't done. Now it's everybody started running away, or so, because it was just like all of a sudden, and then people started coming to all kinds of witnesses started coming to the scene, and then it's going to be more difficult for the police to plant drugs if you got a bunch of people or a bunch of witnesses seeing that you're planting drugs. But anyway, let's get to the rest of the video.
Na makonsensya kayo, tsaka ipapakain nyo sa pamilya nyo kung binayaran man kayo. Galit.
Now, here, let me translate what the son is saying. He's saying that it says here, if you could read this, I hope those responsible grow guilty of what they've done and feed their families with the money from the blood of their fellow men and their fellow police officers. So, before I go on here, let's back up. So that translation was actually done here. He said that people who are responsible for this, I hope that your conscience eats away at you, that you feel guilty because the money that was paid to you to have the mayor killed was blood money, and that you're feeding your family, and that the mayor and other police officers, other people died because of for money. So this is a hired killing or contract killing, where let's kill the mayor. And of course, this is a sitting mayor, so a lot of money, a lot of transactions, and a lot of people in power were involved. This is a chain of command, and I wouldn't be surprised that the people that were actually involved in this operation, they end up being dead in a few months, because that's same thing with, for example, like in the John Wick movie. I think it was John Wick 2, where after he was forced, or he was contracted to kill the sister, and after he killed the sister, he knew that he was next to get rid of the evidence. So he already knew that he was going to die afterwards, so he was prepared for it. So same thing here. So I know you're probably thinking, oh, that's only in the movies, but over here in the Philippines, it's the reality. That the plan is to get rid of the people that I'm sure that's part of the plan if things go wrong, but the people that were so they don't testify, or the people that are higher up to stay protected. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of these people end up dead or end up missing. And I have first experience in that, because in my own case, some people have ended up dead and some people have ended up missing. I'll get into detail with that. That's just the reality here in the Philippines. So the people that are involved, don't be surprised if some of them end up dead afterwards. Just like in John Wick, dead men tell no tales. So the plan was to kill John Wick after he killed. So after this, and then you're saying, oh, if you're the police involved in here, why would you do it? If you're ordered, you really don't have a choice. If the pecking, there's a chain of command over here, and the chain of command says right or wrong, if you're unethical, if you disagree with it or agree with it, if it's part of your job and you're going to be paid handsomely for it, or you're going to get paid for it to do it, then you really have no choice. Especially when Samar is one of the poorest areas of the Philippines, that it becomes pretty simple. It's like either I do this, as they just look at it as, okay, this is part of my job. This is what's called hanap buhay, or seeking living, where to them it's just part of their job. And let's go on to the rest of the video.
Sa dugo ng tao, kapwa niyo pulis, security ng papa ko, walang kalaban-laban, di man lang nakapaputok, driver ng papa ko, as in, tagtag,
So he was talking about, especially about the driver. Usually drivers over here are not armed; they're just drivers. When you hire a driver, that's all they do. They're not. That's why you have a separate. There's no bodyguard and driver with a gun at the same time. Most drivers are just drivers, and that's all they do, and they don't have a gun to start shooting. And he's saying the driver, even though he was just there to drive, he's just like collateral damage. He's like riddled with like dozens and dozens of bullets. Also, is how he was describing.
Katawan. Kaya napaka-imposibleng shootout ang nangyari.
Malacanang has condemned the incident while the NBI has been tapped to conduct a probe.
So here you go. We got Roque again, and he's always putting a nice.
Patayan dahil sa politika sa panahon na papalapit na ang
But at least he pretty much nailed this on the head over here. That this is the reason why these people are dead is because of political reasons. You know what those of course it's going to be whitewashed. You know who the political people that are involved is pretty obvious, but making the connection and whether the connection will be made is going to be the challenge or impossible, because those same people that ordered the killing could order to make sure, if they're that powerful enough that they have that much influence and power, they could order to make sure that there's no connection between them and these killings. And there's another part of this video that I wanted people to show, because here's videos of the actual incident. So what's going to be interesting here is there's a guy in a black shirt. Okay, so here he's even circled. This is after the shooting already happened, and then we got a guy coming in, and he's gonna get involved by shooting again. So this is strange. This just kind of confirms or reiterates or supports the idea that this was a ambush, because here's a guy. The shootout's already been done. He's making sure that the people are dead. It's like, okay, don't screw this up. Make sure that they're all dead. Now, this guy was on a scooter, and he came in to. This supports the ambush the ambush reasoning. It's not a theory. The reason why that it's an ambush, not a shootout. Not that there's much difference. It was like an ambush that led to a shootout. That here's another guy in a scooter coming in and finishing off the job. If this was an actual legit operation or shootout, this wouldn't have been necessary. But this was this person was insurance, that you make sure that the people are dead. So he comes in and shoots the after the people are already dead. So what he's doing here in the Philippines is called double dead. There's a term over here that there's dead and there's double dead. So once a person is dead and you want to shoot them again to make sure, it's called double dead. Now nobody's that's the person's not coming back. They're not going to be taken to the hospital and then shoot over there. It's better to just shoot them over here, so to complete the ambush. So that's another video that I wanted to show. Here he is again, shooting, sticking in front of a bunch of people. If this was a legit operation, if this was a legitimate, why would that be necessary to do that? It's like the people are already dead. Go ahead and plant your drugs. But no, instead another guy comes in, sticks his gun in there, and shoots the people dead again to make sure that it's double dead. So the rest of it is just kind of the people, or you can hear the people saying, you know, that's. So the police that are there are saying, oh, these people fought back. These people are fought back, as you can see there. But the initial reaction of the people, they recognize it. They know it's the mayor. The police saying that, the Philippine National Police saying that they didn't know it was the mayor is a complete lie. It's a blatant lie, and the fact that they could lie about something so obvious. That's the problem when you have here. When you can lie about something so obvious that it's a lie, you can lie about anything. And that's where the problem comes in. It's not, to them, it's not a lie. To them, it's, I don't know how to explain that. Of course, it's to cover their asses, but you know, the fact that they believe this lie is what is is what should keep you up at night. And I know the people that most of the people that watch these videos, I mean, I think I looked at my analytics. There are a good percentage or a good portion of the people that watch my videos are actually here in the Philippines. And so it's a good mixture of people that are not living here in the Philippines. But if you're actually living here in the Philippines, these are the kind of things that you should be concerned about. Because three people died in the car, and then three people outside died, two police and one innocent bystander. So you could just be walking along minding your own business, and you could be caught up in one of these situations over here where like all of a sudden you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. You're dead even though you didn't do anything. The other people, the other five people, there's six people that are dead total. The other five people are there because for a reason. The other three were because of politics. The other two police were there because they were ordered to ambush and kill the mayor. So now that we pretty much established this, and what does so we pretty much established this, then what's the take home message over here, bebotsonly? Well, the take home message is here that like political killings happen all the time. I go, yes, they do. But usually when they do happen, political killings happen all the time. For example, for people in the US, they don't use the actual police themselves. They use government contractors or private assassins or but to use the police themselves is kind of where it becomes troubling, where they want to make it a legal. So they want to make it a legal. It's pretty hard to just kill somebody without any legal repercussion. But if you use the police, then you could pretty much say that, oh, it was a legal killing because the police did it. The police have this culture of impunity that if they shot you, then so this is where this is what you need to worry about. This is the take home message here, that like pretty much if the police did it, if the police killed you, then it must be legal, and they could just kind of whitewash the process throughout. And then that's where you kind of get, so this pretty much, they can pretty much kill anybody, including a sitting mayor who's actually in power at the time. And there's really not much recourse. This thing is going to be whitewashed. And 2 weeks later, it usually takes about 2 weeks for people to move on to another news. Like, look at example, it's almost 2 weeks and people forgot about the Quezon City the incident. Also, it's like what, 4 people died, move on. Next thing, the same thing. Also, 4 people died, 6 people died. 2 weeks later, move on. That's just how life is over here. So those are the things that you need to keep in mind. So to kind of I have another video over here, and what I want to show over here is, here's another video of, if you look at it, here's a police and here's a dead body on the ground. And what this policeman is doing is he's shooting a gun out with a dead body on the ground, and then after that, the gun that he shot, he's gonna plant on the ground. And if you look at the expression in his face, it's just as if he's just like gardening or working on his car, and like it's like just so and so. It's like I just murdered a person, as if I was just eating a sandwich and enjoying my coffee. So this was a video that was taken February 20th of a police over here. You could look it up over here. It says it's a GMA news feed actually. So over here we have on tape, somebody recorded the police planting a gun on somebody that's already dead, and the police are just doing it as just a matter of fact, as if it's just normal. And what's kind of funny is 5 days later, I think it says here that this police person died. So you can look at the details over here of how this was planted. But anyway, this video is kind of getting long enough, so I just wanted to show you. Here's another video that recently happened in February 20th of the police planting evidence that says that this person was involved in a shootout. That's why the police had to shoot back. So Same thing over here with the shootout or ambush. Here with the mayor. Same thing over here with the police planting the evidence. As you could see, the police over here are just doing whatever it is that they want to do, regardless of the law. And let me say something about the law, regardless of the law. Now there's a, some there. Here's I'm gonna try to wrap this up over here. Here's a video that I wanted to. There's a point I wanted to make why I brought this up. Oregon.
I nearly crossed the line.
Here's a hold on. Here's a video. If you're familiar with Gotham, I was watching this where I was actually in prison, and there is a line in here in this video that Captain Barnes from Gotham that said that stuck to me. That I figured, one of these days I'm probably going to use this line. Here we go, and this is what he said. They're talking about this is a discussion between Gordon and Commissioner Barnes before he was Commissioner Gordon. They're talking about the line. They're talking about crossing the line. Everybody knows that phrase. This is kind of a Western phrase. There's the line and you've crossed the line. And here's where Commissioner Barnes says about the line.
A man might do anything. Any man.
So let me say that, there's no subtitle. So I'll just say a man will do anything. A man might do anything in a certain situation. You never know what they're going to do, especially if it's in the middle of a shootout when the adrenaline is running. A man will do anything. A man might do anything. A man will do anything.
There is no line. There's just the law. That's what separates us from the animals.
So that's a very important line. That's an important line that I have already said several times. There is no line. There is no right or wrong. There is just the law. And he says, and that's what separates us from the animals, okay? So this is Gotham, Western movie, great series. I love the writer. I love the directing. I know the person who did this used to be The Mentalist. I remember I loved The Mentalist the first few seasons. It was very intelligently written. But there was a point where it kind of jumped the shark, where it was not as much Mentalist anymore, and it kind of got weird afterwards, and I became disinterested. But in Gotham, let's get back to what Commissioner Barnes said, that there is no line, there is just the law. It's what separates us from the animals. And I have said this before when it comes to the Philippines over here and how the people are we use the term animals, how they're animals. And I'm not saying literally that people here are animals. I'm just saying figuratively, because over here there is no law. There is the law, but people, as you can see, even the people that are in charge or are paid or is their job is to uphold the law, there is no law, as you could see. And it is the law that separates us from the animals does not exist. They don't care about whether it's right or wrong. You're the police. You shouldn't be killing the mayor one way or another. So they're going to do it. They're blatant about it. The police are going to do it. They don't even try to hide it. They're just going to lie about it and saying that they don't know it was the mayor and just lie through their teeth. And this is where this is the law. And without the law, we have animals. Okay. It's what separates us from the animals. And over here, there is no separation anymore. There is no conscience. There is just even the consequences of people's actions. It's irrelevant anymore. It's just mayhem. It's just no conscience, no ethics. No, I mean, you talk about corruption. You talk about brutality of police corruption, police brutality. You talk about government corruption. Over here in the Philippines, it's called Tuesday. Okay, it's not over here because this is what you're seeing here is culture. We're talking about Philippines culture, how wonderful, how generous, how the hospitality, the Philippine culture. We're always talking about the positives. Well, there's the other side of that coin here. We're talking about the Philippines culture over here, where everything is come down to this. Okay, if somebody's eating your lunch or somebody's taking, once money is involved, and money equals death over here. The same thing as when you're talking about your Westerner and you're talking about how money is, how wonderful life over here is. If you have money, well, there's the opposite side of that. How wonderful life is if you have money, if you're involved with money, and how the people over here that want your money can make your life miserable, regardless if it's right or wrong or what they're doing. You have money, they need money. How can we get your money? We have guns, shoot you, put you in jail, plant drugs on you, say you're a drug dealer, say you're a human trafficker, so we can get that money regardless if it's legal, regardless if it's right or wrong. There is no humanity. Humanity is another American Western term that we like to use when we're talking about something. Over here, there is no humanity. Okay. Once money is involved, once your money, you should be concerned about this. You should be afraid of this because you have money. And over here in Samar, where you have a lot of poor people, of course, they're going to want your money, not just regular people, police people also, chief of police over here also, and they're willing to shoot anyone, including you, or frame you, or set you up to get to your money. Okay. And how should I know? I have firsthand experience of this. So people are dying over here over money, and you should be concerned over here. Now, if you're just on vacation here for 2 weeks, probably you're not, your probability of something like this happening to you. But if you're considering living here or staying here for extended periods of time, that's why vloggers that are come here today, they're gone tomorrow. They might be over here several months for several years, but they've never been here as long as I have, even after what I've gone through. They'll move on. So these vloggers that they're about the Philippines, they're not gonna last as long as me, and they're definitely not gonna experience as much as I've experienced. So if you want the truth, this is where the truth is. Anyway, so that's the moral of the story over here. There is no line. There is no humanity. It's just money. I need money. I need to eat. And I have a gun. And the police have guns. And you have money. And don't be surprised if they use their guns or if they use their authority to get to your money to make so they can eat, regardless of where is the humanity in that. Just like there is no line, there is no humanity. Just like, so the opposite side, you're talking about how wonderful life is over here. If you have money, it's also how dangerous and how perilous and how horrible life can be if you have money or access to money, and you have people surrounded by money. And another probably aspect I should talk about is how social media has made people more greedy or more money hungry, because they got to post that I got money, I can do things also that you can do. I can go to restaurants, I can buy nice things also. I can make other people jealous also with money. And to do that, I have to get it from people that have money. And how do I do that? Well, as you can see, the police over here, not all police, but the police over here, they have guns, and that's what they're going to use to get money. Anyway, like I said, that's the reality here in the Philippines, and I know it's going to upset a lot of people, but this channel is not about making you happy. It's about sharing the truth, and because that's what I would be interested instead of lies. But if you're interested in lies, there's plenty of other people doing that already. But I can understand why I'm not popular and why this channel is not popular. But it's not for people that are delusional, because I wouldn't want that, and I wouldn't want to watch videos of that. When I make videos, you do it for because it's what you want and what you want to share. It's not what I'm not doing it because to show you what you want. Anyway, this is Bebots Only. Let us know what you think, what your opinions are about what happened. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.